Hello, and welcome to this quiet journey through the Norse creation of the cosmos. I'm your guide tonight, here to share a story that's ancient, vast, and just a little bit mesmerizing. This is a tale of how the world began according to the old Norse myths, how chaos turned to order, how nothingness became everything. If you're listening to this to help you drift off, to relax, or just to lose yourself in a story, then settle in. Find a comfortable spot, maybe pull up a blanket, and let your mind wander to a time before time, to a place before places. This video is designed to be your companion as you ease into sleep. It's going to be long, slow, and steady, full of details about the Norse cosmos, but told in a way that's calm, almost like a lullaby. You don't need to hold onto every word. Let them wash over you, like waves lapping at a shore, carrying you gently toward rest. The Norse myths are perfect for this, you know. They're vast and poetic, full of slow, deliberate moments, where the world takes shape, bit by bit. There's no rush here, no hurry, just a story unfolding, piece by piece, in the quiet of the night. Picture yourself lying under a wide starry sky somewhere in the far north. The air is cool, the ground soft with moss. Above you, the stars glimmer faintly, and there's a gentle rustle of leaves in the distance. This is the kind of place where the Norse myths were born. Lands of long winters, deep forests, and endless skies. The people who told these stories looked at the world and wondered how it came to be. They saw the mountains, the seas, the stars, and they wove a tale of gods and giants, of fire and ice, of a great tree holding it all together. Tonight, we're going to follow that tale, step by step, from the very beginning. The Norse creation myth starts in a place that's hard to imagine, a place that's not really a place at all. It's called Ginnungagap, the great void, the yawning emptiness before anything existed. It's not a place you can touch or see, but it's where our story begins. So, let's go there together. Close your eyes if you like, or keep them open, gazing at the stars on your screen. Let's drift into the myth, into the quiet, endless void where the cosmos was born. The void of Ginnungagap. Hello, and welcome back to the quiet, endless emptiness of Ginnungagap. We're at the very beginning of the Norse cosmos, a place before places, a time before time. Imagine it, a vast, yawning void, stretching out in every direction, or maybe no direction at all, because nothing exists yet to mark the way. No up, no down, no light, no shadow. Just silence, just stillness, just a great, formless nothing. The air, if you can call it air, is heavy with absence, cool and unmoving, like the hush of a winter night before the snow falls. It's peaceful, isn't it? This kind of quiet, this kind of emptiness, where the world is waiting, holding its breath, ready to become something more. Let's settle in, let your thoughts soften, and let's linger here, in the gentle void, as the Norse creation story begins. Slowly, ever so slowly. Ginnungagap isn't empty in the way we might think of an empty room or a bare field. It's a different kind of emptiness. A vast chasm of possibility, a space where the seeds of the cosmos are waiting to grow. The Norse people who spun this tale in their cold, rugged lands understood this kind of waiting. They knew the stillness of a frozen fjord, the quiet of a forest buried in snow, the moment before the world wakes. G-readings and Ginnungagaps was their way of imagining that moment. That pause before creation, when everything was possible, yet nothing was formed. To the north of this great void lay Niflheim, a realm of ice and frost, of mist and shadow. Niflheim was cold, colder than any winter you've ever felt, colder than the deepest night in the far north. Its air was thick with frost, its ground, if you could call it ground, covered in layers of ice, glistening faintly in the dimness, like glass under a faint star. From a great spring called Vergelmir, rivers flowed, but not warm, living rivers. These were streams of venom and chill, their waters heavy, sluggish, moving slowly toward the void. Picture them. Rivers of ice. Their surface is cracked and shimmering. Their sound a low gurgling murmur, like a secret whispered in the dark. These rivers crept into Ginnungagap, carrying Niflheim's cold, filling the void with their frosty breath. To the south, far across the chasm, was Muspelheim, a realm of fire and heat, the opposite of Niflheim's chill. Muspelheim was alive with flames, its air thick with the scent of ash and molten stone. Sparks danced in the darkness, glowing red and gold like fireflies in a summer night, but fiercer, wilder. The ground, if there was ground, burned hot, its surface cracked with rivers of lava, flowing as slowly as Niflheim's icy streams. Guarding Muspelheim was Surtur, a giant of fire, his sword blazing brighter than any flame, its light casting shadows that flickered across the void. Picture him, a tower of fire, his sword a glowing beacon, his presence steady, unyielding, a reminder that even in the emptiness there was power, waiting to move. For a long time, though time itself was not yet born, Niflheim and Muspelheim stood apart, separated by the great void of Ginnungagap. The cold stayed north, the fire stayed south, and the emptiness held them at bay. But slowly, ever so slowly, something began to shift. The icy rivers from Niflheim inched closer, their frosty breath drifting into the void, curling like mist over a frozen lake. The sparks from Muspelheim, carried on some unseen current, floated northward, their warmth brushing against the cold. The air hummed faintly, with the tension of opposites meeting, with the promise of something new. And then, in the heart of Ginnungagap, fire and ice came together, not in a clash, not in a storm, but in a gentle mingling, like two streams flowing into one. The frost from Niflheim met the sparks from Muspelheim, and where they touched, the ice began to melt. Drip by drip, the frost softened, turning to water, then to mist, a swirling grey cloud that filled the void. The sound was soft, a faint patter, like rain on a quiet night, like the world whispering its first breath. From this mist, from this meeting of cold and heat, the first spark of creation was born. Not sudden, not loud, but slow, steady, like a heartbeat, finding its rhythm. Let's linger here, fellow traveler. In the quiet of Ginnungagap, picture the mist swirling, the faint drip of melting ice, the soft glow of distant sparks. The void is calm, its emptiness alive with possibility, its silence a canvas for the story to come. Feel your breath slow, matching the rhythm of those dripping drops, the gentle hum of the cosmos waiting to be born. The Norse myths start here, in this moment of stillness, where fire and ice meet, where nothing becomes something, slowly, ever so slowly. Before we move on, let's pause to think about the people who told this story, the Norse, who lived in a world shaped by the same forces of ice and fire. The Norse people were a hardy folk, dwelling in the far north, in lands we now call Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and beyond. Their world was harsh, unforgiving, a place of long, bitter winters, where the sun barely rose, and short, fleeting summers, where the land burst briefly into life. Picture their homes, wooden longhouses, huddled against snow-covered hills, their roofs heavy with frost, their hearths glowing with the same fire that echoed Muspelheim's warmth. The wind howled outside, carrying the chill of Niflheim, and the seas crashed against rocky fjords, their waves as relentless as the tides of Ymir's blood. The Norse lived close to nature, their lives tied to the rhythms of the land. They were farmers, fishermen, and warriors, coaxing crops from rocky soil, sailing stormy seas, and facing the cold with a stubborn resilience. Their environment shaped their myths, giving them a cosmos born from ice and fire, from struggle and balance. Ginnungagap was their way of imagining the world's beginning, a void that mirrored the vast empty landscapes they knew, snowfields stretching to the horizon, Fjords cutting through mountains, skies heavy with stars. They saw the world as a place of opposites, where cold and heat, chaos and order, life and death met, just as they met in their daily lives. Their culture was one of storytelling, passed down by skalds, poets who sang of gods and heroes around flickering fires. These stories weren't just entertainment. They were a way of understanding the world, of finding meaning in the harshness. The Norse valued strength, but also wisdom, loyalty, and community. They honored their gods, Odin, Thor, Freyja, not as distant rulers, but as part of their world, as beings who walked the same earth, faced the same struggles. Their myths, like this creation story, were full of sacrifice and transformation, reflecting a life where survival demanded hard choices, where a good harvest or a safe voyage was never guaranteed. This idea of a void, of a beginning born from opposites, wasn't unique to the Norse. Other cultures had their own voids, their own stories of creation from nothing. In Greek myths, there's chaos, a formless expanse that gives birth to Gaia and the gods. In Egyptian tales, there's none, a watery abyss from which the world rises. The Norse Ginnungagap, with its ice and fire, was their version, shaped by their world of snow and flame, of fjords and hearths. It was a way of saying that even in the harshest emptiness, there's potential, there's life, waiting to unfold. But let's not stay too long in these thoughts. Let's return to Ginnungagap, to the mist swirling in the void, to the drip of melting ice and the faint glow of sparks. The Norse cosmos is stirring, its first beings ready to emerge from this quiet meeting of fire and ice. The air is calm, the silence deep, and the story is just beginning. Picture it, the void stretching out, the mist curling softly, the cosmos holding its breath. Let your thoughts drift, let your breath slow, as we move toward the next part of our tale, the birth of Ymir and Audhumla, the first steps of creation. For now, rest here, in the gentle emptiness, with the sound of dripping water and the hum of a world waiting to be born. The emergence of Ymir and Audhumla. Welcome back, fellow traveler, to the vast, quiet emptiness of Ginnungagap. We are still here, floating in that great void where fire and ice have just begun to meet. The air, if you can call it air, is heavy with mist, and there's a soft, almost imperceptible sound of dripping water, like rain falling far away. The cold from Niflheim and the heat from Muspelheim have mingled, and something is stirring. Something is forming slowly, ever so slowly, in the heart of the void. This is where our story grows, where the first beings of the Norse cosmos begin to take shape. Let's settle in. Let your thoughts soften, and let's see what rises from the mist. As the ice from Niflheim melted under the warmth of Muspelheim's sparks, the drops of water began to gather. Not quickly, not in a rush, but gradually, steadily, like snowflakes piling up on a winter night. These drops weren't just water. They were something more, something alive, something ancient. From the mist and the melt, from the quiet meeting of opposites, a figure began to form. It was vast, enormous, bigger than any mountain you could imagine. This was Ymir, the first being, the frost giant who was born from the void itself. Ymir wasn't born the way you or I might think of birth. There was no mother, no father, just the slow drip of ice turning to mist, and the mist turning to flesh. His body was massive, stretching across the void like a range of hills. His skin was rough, like frost-crusted stone, and his breath was heavy, like the cold winds of Niflheim. He was a giant, but not the kind we picture with a club or a roar. Ymir was primal, silent, a being of pure existence, lying in the mist, his great form half hidden in the swirling grey. Imagine that, a giant, vast and still, lying in the emptiness. The mist curls around him. The air hums faintly with the sound of dripping water. There's no hurry here, no rush. Ymir simply is, the first spark of life in a cosmos that's only just beginning. The Norse people, who told this story around their fires, saw Ymir as the start of everything, the root from which the world would grow. They didn't see him as good or evil, just as necessary, like the ice or the fire that made him. But Ymir wasn't alone for long. As he lay there, sleeping in the mist, another being came into existence. This was Audhumla, the great cow, a creature as strange and ancient as Ymir himself. Audhumla appeared from the same melting ice, her form taking shape as the frost softened and dripped. She was enormous, with a broad, sturdy body and eyes that gleamed like pools of still water. Her hide was smooth, almost glowing in the dim light of the void, and her breath was warm, a soft contrast to the cold around her. Audhumla moved slowly, her hooves making no sound in the emptiness. She was a creature of calm, of purpose, born to nourish and create. The Norse myths don't say much about where she came from, and that's part of their beauty. They don't need to explain everything. Audhumla simply was, like Ymir, a gift of the void, a piece of the cosmos taking shape. Picture her, standing in the mist, her head lowered, her breath steady. The air around her is quiet. The mist swirls gently, and the world feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for what comes next. There were great blocks of frosts, remnants of Niflheims, cold, piled high in the void. Audhumla approached one of these blocks, her movement slow and deliberate. She lowered her great head and began to lick the ice. Her tongue moved gently, steadily, scraping away at the frost, layer by layer. Drip by drip, the ice melted under her warmth, just as it had melted to form Ymir. But this time, something different was happening. The ice wasn't just melting, it was revealing something, someone, hidden within. Slowly, ever so slowly, Audhumla's licking began to uncover a shape. The ice was salty, and as her tongue moved across it, the frost fell away, bit by bit, like snow brushed from a stone. After one day of licking, a man's hair appeared, dark and matted. Emerging from the ice, Audhumla didn't stop. She kept licking, her tongue moving in a steady rhythm, the sound soft and repetitive, like waves against the shore. On the second day, a head took shape, strong and broad, still locked in the frost. And on the third day, the ice gave way completely, and a figure stepped free. This was Buri, the first of the gods, the ancestor of Odin and his brothers. Buri was tall and powerful, his form radiant, like sunlight breaking through a winter storm. His eyes were clear, his presence calm but commanding. He stood in the void, surrounded by mist, with Audhumla nearby, her work complete. The Norse myths don't tell us what Buri thought or felt in that moment. They don't need to. His existence was enough. A new piece of the cosmos, born from the ice, shaped by the gentle, persistent work of Audhumla. Let's pause here for a moment. Picture this scene. Ymir, the frost giant, lying vast and still in the mist. Audhumla, the great cow, moving slowly, her tongue scraping softly against the ice. And Buri, newly formed, standing tall in the emptiness, his breath mingling with the mist. It's a quiet scene, isn't it? There's no rush, no noise, just the slow rhythm of creation, the gentle drip of melting ice, the faint hum of the void. Let your breathing slow as you imagine this. Let the story carry you, like a leaf floating on a calm river. Now, before we move on, let's take a moment to think about what this part of the myth means. The Norse people, living in their harsh, cold lands, told stories that reflected their world. Ymir and Audhumla aren't just characters. They're symbols of how life emerges from the raw stuff of nature. In many myths, not just Norse ones, you see this idea of primordial beings shaping the world. In Babylonian myths, there's Tiamat, a great dragon whose body becomes the earth. In Greek myths, there's Gaia, the mother of all things, born from chaos. The Norse had Ymir, and audhumla, born from ice and fire, shaping the cosmos through their existence. It's a way of saying that everything comes from something else, that creation is a slow, steady process, not a sudden act. But let's not get too caught up in comparisons. Let's return to our story, to the quiet of Ginnungagap, where Ymir and audhumla and buri are waiting. Ymir, the frost giant, wasn't just lying there, Even as he slept, his body was creating. From his sweat, yes, his sweat, other beings began to form. Frost giants, like Ymir, emerged from his body, born from the warmth and the mist. They were his kin, rough and cold, their forms half hidden in the void. The Norse myths don't say much about these giants, not yet, but they're part of the story, part of the slow unfolding of the cosmos. Audhumla, too, had her role. She wasn't just there to free Buri. She nourished Ymir, her milk flowing like rivers, sustaining the giant in the emptiness. Picture that, a great cow, her milk spilling out, feeding the first being in a world that's only just beginning. It's a strange image, isn't it? But it's also peaceful, grounding, a reminder that even in the vastness of the cosmos, there's care, there's sustenance. The Norse people, who relied on their animals to survive the long winters, understood this. They saw audhumla as a symbol of life, of nurturing, of the quiet strength that keeps the world going. And so, here we are, in the heart of Ginnungagap. Ymir lies sleeping, his body spawning giants. Audhumla moves slowly, her milk flowing, her tongue shaping Buri from the ice. Buri stands tall, a new presence in the void, ready to play his part. The mist swirls around them, the air hums faintly, and the cosmos is growing, piece by piece. There's no hurry here, no rush. Everything is unfolding as it should, in its own time, in its own way. Let's linger in this moment. Close your eyes if you like, or keep them open, watching the mist on your screen. Feel the quiet, the calm, the steady rhythm of this story. The Norse cosmos is taking shape, but it's doing so slowly, gently, like a dream forming in your mind. As we move forward, we'll see what happens next, how Buri's line leads to the gods, how Ymir's story takes a darker turn. But for now, let's rest here, in the mist, with the drip of ice and the soft breath of audhumla. Let the story carry you, toward sleep, toward peace, toward the next chapter of the cosmos, the 9 worlds and their connections. Hello there, and welcome back to the quiet, breathing heart of the Norse cosmos. We're standing in Midgard, the middle realm, where the earth lies soft and dark, its fields kissed by the golden light of Sol, the sun. The seas encircle it, their waves lapping softly, a steady hush that could carry you to sleep. Above, the bone-white sky, crafted from Ymir's skull, glows with stars, while the moon, guided by Mani, casts a silver sheen over the land. The seasons turn, spring to summer, autumn to winter, in a rhythm as old as the world itself. The gods Odin, Vili, and Ve have shaped this place, given it order, made it alive. But Midgard is only one thread in a vast tapestry. The Norse cosmos holds 9 worlds, each unique, each alive, all bound together by Yggdrasil, the world tree, whose roots and branches weave through the void. Let's settle in, let your thoughts soften, and let's explore these worlds, their connections, and the life within Yggdrasil itself, slowly, ever so slowly. The Norse didn't see the universe as a single flat place. Their cosmos was layered, complex, a collection of realms stacked and scattered, each with its own spirit, its own pulse. These 9 worlds, Asgard, Vanaheim, Alfheim, Midgard, Svartalfheim, Jotunheim, Niflheim, Muspelheim, and Hel, were held in balance by Yggdrasil, a tree so vast it defies the mind. Picture it. Yggdrasil's trunk rises like a mountain, its bark glowing faintly, etched with patterns that shimmer in the starlight. Its branches stretch into the heavens, their leaves rustling softly. a sound like a distant breeze, like a lullaby sung by the cosmos. Its roots sink deep, twisting through unseen depths, drawing life from wells and springs hidden in the void. Yggdrasil is alive, its heart beating with the rhythm of the worlds, its presence a quiet hum that holds everything together. Let's begin with Asgard, high in Yggdrasil's branches, the golden realm of the Aesir gods. Asgard is a place of light, its air clear and crisp, carrying the scent of polished wood and warm stone. Great halls stand here, their roofs gleaming with gold, their walls carved with tales of creation. Odin's hall, Valhalla, looms largest, its roof thatched with shields that glint like stars, its tables heavy with feasts that never end. The warriors there chosen by Odin rest quietly now, their voices a faint murmur like wind through a forest. Asgard's paths wind through gardens of silver grass where the gods walk, their steps slow, their presence calm yet powerful. Picture it, a golden hall under a starry sky, its light filtering through Yggdrasil's leaves, its peace a steady anchor in the cosmos. Lower in the branches, nestled like a green jewel, is Vanaheim, home of the Vanir gods. Vanaheim is softer than Asgard, its hills rolling gently, its rivers flowing with a quiet gurgle, like water over smooth stones. The air smells of wildflowers and damp earth, and the light is warm, like a summer afternoon that never fades. The Vanir, gods of fertility and growth, tend the fields, their hands brushing through tall grasses, their voices soft as a breeze. Picture fields stretching out, golden with grain, swaying under Yggdrasil's shade, their edges fading into misty forests. Vanaheim is alive, its pulse tied to the earth, its calm a reminder that even the gods are part of nature's rhythm. Nearby, high in the trees' branches, glows Alfheim, the realm of the light elves. Alfheim shimmers, its air sparkling like morning dew caught in sunlight. The light elves are delicate beings, their forms barely visible, their voices a whisper, like leaves brushing together. Picture meadows of soft grass, glowing faintly, dotted with flowers that gleam like tiny stars. Streams wind through Alfheim, their waters rippling softly, their sound a gentle lullaby. The elves dance under Yggdrasil's branches, their movements slow and graceful, their light weaving through the leaves, connecting their world to the cosmos. Alfheim is a place of quiet beauty, its magic as soft as a dream. Midgard we know well. It's the middle realm, the heart of the cosmos, where Ask and Embla stand on shores of dark sand, the seas whispering behind them. Midgard's fields are green, its forests deep, its mountains tall, all shaped from Ymir's body. Yggdrasil's roots touch Midgard, its branches shade it, making it the center of the 9 worlds, a place where humans live, tied to the gods, the giants, the elves. The air here is familiar, filled with the scent of pine and salt, the sound of wind through trees, the steady rhythm of life. Midgard is home, but it's also a bridge, connected to every other world by the great tree's embrace. Deeper in Yggdrasil's roots lies Svartalfheim, the realm of the dwarves. Svartalfheim is dark, but not cold or grim, just steady, quiet, like a cave lit by the glow of forges. The dwarves, master craftsmen, work here, their hammers tapping softly, a rhythmic pulse that echoes through the stone. The air smells of smoke and metal, and the walls gleam with veins of ore, reflecting the firelight. Picture their workshops, anvils glowing red, tools scattered, treasures taking shape under skilled hands. The dwarves crafted the gods' greatest gifts, Thor's hammer, Odin's spear, and they hold up the sky, their strength anchoring the cosmos. Svartalfheim is hidden but vital, its pulse tied to Yggdrasil's roots, its work a quiet hum in the void. Farther out, wild and untamed, is Jotunheim, the realm of the giants. Jotunheim is vast, its cliffs towering, its winds howling through canyons of grey stone. The giants, kin to Ymir, roam here, their steps shaking the earth, their voices low, like thunder rolling in the distance. The air is sharp, cold, carrying the scent of frost and rock, but there's a raw beauty to it, a power that echoes the chaos of Ginnungagap. Picture a stormy sky, its clouds heavy, lit by flashes of lightning. Yet Yggdrasil's roots hold steady, anchoring Jotunheim to the cosmos. The giants are wild, but they're part of the balance. Their realm, a contrast to Asgard's order, a reminder of the world's untamed heart. Deep in Yggdrasil's roots lies Niflheim, the icy realm we met at the beginning. Niflheim is cold, its air heavy with mist, its landscapes buried in frost that glints like glass. From the spring Hvergelmir, venomous rivers flow, their waters slow and sluggish, their sound a faint murmur, like a secret whispered in the dark. Picture it, ice stretching out, cracked and shimmering, its edges fading into shadow. Yet Yggdrasil's roots weave through, glowing faintly, tying Niflheim to the whole. Niflheim is still quiet, a memory of the cosmos' birth, its chill balanced by the warmth of other worlds. Opposite Niflheim burns Muspelheim, the realm of fire, its flames crackling in the void. Muspelheim is heat, its air thick with ash and molten stone, its ground glowing with rivers of lava. Surtur, the fire giant, stands guard, his sword blazing, its light casting shadows that dance across the void. Picture sparks drifting, like fireflies in a burning sky. Yet Yggdrasil's branches touch Muspelheim gently, holding its fire in check, weaving its heat into the cosmic tapestry. Muspelheim is fierce, but it's part of the balance, its warmth a counterpoint to Niflheim's cold, its power tied to the tree. And deepest of all is Hel, the realm of the dead, ruled by the goddess Hel herself. Hel is quiet, not a place of fear, but of rest, where those who didn't fall in battle find peace. The air is cool, the light dim, like twilight that lingers forever. A slow river, fed by Niflheim's waters, winds through, its murmur soft, like a lullaby for the departed. Picture it, misty fields, their edges fading into shadow. Yet Yggdrasil's roots glow faintly, connecting Hel to the living worlds above. Hel is calm, its silence a part of the cosmos' rhythm, a place where even death is held in Yggdrasil's embrace. Yggdrasil itself is more than a bridge. It's alive, teeming with creatures that keep its spirit moving. High in its branches perches an eagle, its wings broad, its eyes sharp, watching the cosmos with a quiet wisdom. Its feathers rustle softly, blending with the leaves, its presence a steady guardian of the tree's heights. At the roots, a serpent named Nidhogg gnaws, its scales glinting in the dark, its movements slow but relentless. Nidhogg doesn't destroy the tree, it's part of its cycle, it's chewing a reminder that even the cosmos is ever-changing. Picture it, the serpent coiled, its breath hissing faintly, its eyes glowing like embers. Yet Yggdrasil stands firm, its roots unyielding. Between the eagle and Nidhogg scurries Ratatosk, a squirrel, its tiny feet pattering along the trunk, its chatter a faint, playful sound in the silence. Ratatosk carries messages, darting from root to branch, whispering tales between the serpent and the eagle, keeping the tree's stories alive. Picture him, a flash of fur, a flick of a tail, his movements quick but soft, like a breeze through the leaves. Other creatures dwell here too. Forstags, Dane, Devalin, Dunair, and Durathror graze on Yggdrasil's branches, their hoofs tapping gently, their antlers brushing the leaves. Their grazing shapes the tree, keeping its growth in balance, their presence a quiet hum of life. And beneath the roots, 3 wells feed Yggdrasil's life. The well of Urd, near Asgard, glows with wisdom, its waters clear, tended by the Norns, who weave the fates of gods and men. Picture it, a still pool, its surface rippling softly, reflecting the stars above. The well of Mimir, deep and dark, holds knowledge, guarded by the wise Mimir, its waters cold and heavy with secrets. And Vergelmir in Niflheim bubbles with primal life, its waters the source of the rivers that flow through the cosmos. These wells nourish Yggdrasil, their waters soaking its roots, their power pulsing through its bark, tying the tree to every world. Let's pause here and rest under Yggdrasil's branches. Picture it, the tree's trunk glowing, its leaves rustling softly, its roots stretching into the mist. The eagle watches above, its wings still, the serpent coils below, its scales glinting. Ratatosk scurries, the stags graze, the wells shimmer, and the 9 worlds glow faintly, each alive, each connected. The air is calm, filled with the scent of wood and earth, the sound of leaves whispering. Feel your breath slow, matching the tree's quiet pulse. Let your thoughts drift as we linger in this moment of cosmic unity. Before we move forward, let's reflect on Yggdrasil's deeper meaning. The Norse saw the world as interconnected, every realm, every being tied to the others. Trees are sacred in many cultures, symbols of life and balance. In Celtic myths, the oak stands as a bridge between earth and sky, its roots and branches mirroring Yggdrasil's reach. In Hindu stories, the banyan tree shelters the world, its roots spreading wide, like Yggdrasil's hold on the cosmos. In ancient Sumerian tales, a cosmic tree links heaven and earth, its fruit granting wisdom. For the Norse, Yggdrasil was their heart, a living symbol of connection, a reminder that gods, giants, humans, and even the dead are part of one great cycle. Its creatures, the eagle, nidhogg, ratatosk, embody this, their actions keeping the tree alive, keeping the cosmos in motion. But let's not linger too long in these thoughts. Let's return to Yggdrasil, to its glowing trunk, its whispering leaves, its roots sinking deep. The 9 worlds rest in its embrace. Asgard's gold, Vanaheim's green, Alfheim's shimmer, Midgard's fields, Svartalfheim's forges, Jotunheim's storms, Niflheim's ice, Muspelheim's fire, Hell's twilight. The eagle watches, the serpent gnaws, the squirrel chatters, the stags graze, the wells flow, and the tree stands, steady and calm, holding it all together. For now, let's rest here, under Yggdrasil's shade, with the rustle of its leaves and the quiet hum of the cosmos. Picture it, the tree stretching forever, its worlds alive, its balance perfect. The air is soft, the stars twinkle through the branches, and the cosmos breathes with you. Let the story carry you, like a leaf on a gentle breeze, toward rest, toward sleep, toward the end of our tale. Branches reaching into a starry sky, roots fading into mist, with faint silhouettes of an eagle, a serpent, and a squirrel, the creation of the gods and the slaying of Ymir. Hello, and welcome back to the quiet, endless expanse of Ginnungagap. We're still here, floating in the mist, where the air is heavy, with the scent of frosts and the faint warmth of distant sparks. The cosmos is just beginning, taking shape slowly, ever so slowly, like a story whispered on a winter night. Ymir, the great frost giant, lies vast and still, his breath a low rumble in the void. Audhumla, the cosmic cow, moves gently nearby, her milk sustaining him, her presence calm and steady. And Buri, the first of the gods, stands tall, his form radiant in the swirling mist. This is where our story grows, where the first gods are born, and where the world itself begins to form. Let's settle in, let your thoughts soften, and let's see what happens next in this ancient tale. Buri, the figure freed from the ice by audhumla's patient licking, was no ordinary being. He was strong, his presence like a beacon in the emptiness. The Norse myths don't tell us much about his early days, and that's okay. They don't need to. Buri simply was, a spark of divine life in a cosmos still finding its shape. Picture him, standing in the mist, his hair dark and matted, his eyes clear and steady. The air around him is cool, the mist curls softly, and there's a quiet hum, like the world itself is breathing. Buri didn't stay alone for long. In time, though time was still a loose, unformed thing, he had a son named Bor. The myths don't say how, and that's part of their charm. They leave room for mystery, for imagination. Bor was like his father, strong and radiant, a being of purpose born from the void. He walked through the mist, his steps silent, his presence adding to the slow rhythm of creation. Bor in turn found a companion, a giantess named Bestla, one of the frost giants born from Ymir's own body. Together they brought forth 3 sons, and these sons would change the cosmos forever. Their names were Odin, Vili, and Ve, the first true gods of the Norse world. Imagine that, 3 brothers born from Bor and Bestla, standing in the vastness of Ginnungagap. Odin the eldest was wise and fierce, his eyes like stars piercing the mist. Vili was strong, his will as unyielding as the ice of Niflheim. Ve was gentle yet powerful, his spirit tied to the life of the cosmos. They were young gods, new to the void, but already they carried a sense of purpose, a sense of something greater waiting to unfold. The mist swirled around them, and the air was quiet, save for the faint drip of melting ice and the distant crackle of Muspelheim's flames. Now, while the gods were coming into being, Ymir was not idle. He slept, yes, but his body was alive with creation. From his sweat, from the warmth of his vast form, more frost giants emerged, their shapes rough and cold, like Ymir himself. They roamed the void, their footsteps heavy, their voices low, like the rumble of a distant storm. The Norse myths don't paint these giants as evil, not yet, just as part of the cosmos, part of the chaos that filled Ginnungagap. But the gods, Odin, Vili, and Ve, saw something different. They saw a world that could be more than chaos, more than mist and giants. They saw order, and they knew it would come at a cost. The brothers looked at Ymir, lying vast and endless, and they made a choice. This part of the story isn't gentle, but we'll tell it softly, slowly, so it doesn't stir you too much. The gods decided that Ymir, the first being, must be slain. His body, so vast and primal, was holding back the cosmos from becoming what it could be. Odin, Vili, and Ve came together, their movements deliberate, their purpose clear. They approached Ymir in the mist, their forms small against his enormous bulk. The air was still, the mist heavy, and the void seemed to hold its breath. The battle, if you can call it a battle, was not loud or fierce. It was a quiet act, a necessary one in the Norse way of thinking. The brothers struck Ymir, their strength divine, their will unshakable. His blood poured out, not in a violent rush, but in a slow, steady flood, like rivers breaking free from a dam. His blood filled the void, swirling through Ginnungagap, a great tide of red and blue, shimmering in the dim light. The other frost giants, born from Ymir's sweat, were swept away in this flood, most of them drowning in the endless sea of their ancestors' blood. Only one, Ymir, escaped, finding refuge on a piece of driftwood to carry on the line of giants. But Ymir's death was not an end. It was a beginning. The gods took his body, vast as a mountain range, and began to shape it. This is where the Norse creation myth becomes something special, something that feels alive even today. From Ymir's body, the gods crafted the world. His blood became the seas and oceans, flowing wide and deep, their waves lapping gently against unseen shores. Picture that, a sea stretching out forever, its surface rippling softly, reflecting the faint light of the mist. His flesh, soft and heavy, became the earth itself. The gods smoothed it out, shaping hills and valleys, plains and fields. The ground was rich and dark, ready to hold life. ready to become Midgard, the home of humans. His bones, strong and unyielding, were piled high to form mountains, their peaks jagged against the sky. His teeth, broken and scattered, became rocks and boulders, littering the landscape. His hair, long and tangled, turned into forests, their branches swaying in a breeze that didn't yet exist. And his skull, his vast curved skull, Odin Vili and Vi lifted it high, higher than you can imagine, and set it above the world to form the sky. They placed 4 dwarfs named Nordri, Sudri, Austri, and Vestri at its corners to hold it up, their strength keeping the heavens in place. The sky arched over the earth, a great dome of bone glowing faintly in the mist, and from Ymir's brains the gods fashioned clouds, soft and drifting, moving slowly across the sky, their edges curling like the mist of Ginnungagap. Let's pause here and imagine this scene, the seas flowing gently, the waves whispering, the earth stretching out, soft and dark, ready for life, mountains rising, their peaks sharp and quiet, forests swaying, their leaves rustling faintly, and above it all a sky made of bone, held up by dwarfs, with clouds drifting slowly, ever so slowly. It's a peaceful image, isn't it? The world taking shape, piece by piece, in the quiet of the void. Let your breathing slow, let your thoughts drift, as we linger in this moment of creation. Before we move on, let's think for a moment about what this part of the myth means. The Norse people saw the world as born from sacrifice. Ymir's death wasn't just an act of violence. It was an act of creation, a giving of one life to make many. This idea shows up in other myths too. In the Babylonian story of Tiamat, her body is split to form the heavens and earth. In some Hindu myths, the god Purusha is sacrificed to create the world. For the Norse, sacrifice was part of life, whether it was offering food to the gods or enduring the harsh winters. Ymir's death was a way of saying that nothing comes without cost, that creation is a cycle of giving and taking. But let's not dwell too long on these thoughts. Let's return to our story, to the gods standing in the new world they've made. The seas are flowing, the mountains are rising, the sky is arching overhead. Odin, Vili, and Vi look at their work, and they see that it's good, but not complete. The cosmos is still young, still forming, and there's more to do. The earth needs life, the sky needs light, and the world needs order. For now, though, let's rest here, in this moment of transformation. Picture the seas, the mountains, the forests, all born from Ymir's body. Feel the quiet, the calm, the slow rhythm of a world coming to life. The mist is still there, swirling softly, but now it's joined by the sound of waves, the rustle of leaves, the faint hum of a cosmos finding its shape. Let the story carry you, like a gentle tide, pulling you toward rest, toward sleep, toward the next part of our tale, the shaping of the world. Hello, fellow traveler, and welcome back to the quiet heart of the Norse cosmos. We're standing in a world that's just beginning, a world born from the body of Ymir, the frost giant. The seas are flowing, their waves whispering softly, born from his blood. The earth stretches out, dark and rich, shaped from his flesh. Mountains rise, jagged and still, formed from his bones, and above it all, a great sky arches, made from his skull, held up by 4 dwarfs. The air is calm, filled with the faint scent of salt and soil, and the mist of Ginnungagap still lingers, curling gently around the edges of this new world. Odin, Vili, and Ve, the young gods, stand here, their work unfinished, but full of promise. This is where our story grows, where the gods shape the world into something alive, something ready for life. Let's settle in, let your thoughts soften, and let's see how the cosmos takes form, slowly, ever so slowly. The gods looked at the world they'd made, and they saw its beauty, but also its rawness. It was a world of earth and sea, of mountains and sky, but it was still wild, still unformed in some ways. The seas churned without purpose. The earth lay bare without green, and the sky, vast as it was, felt empty without light. Odin, Vili, and Vi knew there was more to do. They were gods of creation, not just destroyers. They had slain Ymir to make this world, but now they would shape it, refine it, give it order and life. Their movements were steady, their purpose clear, like craftsmen working a piece of wood, smoothing it, carving it, making it whole. First they turned to the earth, the dark, rich soil born from Ymir's flesh. They called this place Midgard, the Middle Realm, the home that would one day hold humanity. Picture it, a vast plain stretching out under the bone-white sky, its surface soft and waiting. The gods walked across it, their steps silent, their hands brushing the earth. They smoothed the valleys, deepened the rivers, and carved paths for streams to flow. The water moved gently, gurgling softly as it found its way, like a lullaby sung by the earth itself. The gods worked slowly, deliberately, shaping Midgard into a place of balance, a place where life could take root. The seas, born from Ymir's blood, needed their attention too. The gods waded into the waters, their feet sinking into the cool, endless depths. They guided the tides, setting them to rise and fall in a steady rhythm, like the breathing of the world. The waves lapped at the shores of Midgard, their sound a soft, repetitive hush, a sound you could drift to, if you close your eyes and listen. The sea stretched out, encircling Midgard, a great ring of water that held the land in its embrace. The gods made sure the waters were deep but not too wild, calm but not still, a perfect balance of motion and rest. Above Midgard, the sky needed more than just its dome of bone. The gods looked up at the vast empty curve of Ymir's skull, and they saw potential. They gathered sparks from Muspelheim, those fiery flecks that had drifted into Ginnungagap so long ago. These sparks were bright, glowing with the heat of the fire realm, and the gods cast them into the sky. Slowly, ever so slowly, the sparks became stars, twinkling faintly in the heavens. Picture that, a sky coming alive, one star at a time, each one a tiny flame, glowing against the bone-white dome. The stars didn't blaze or dazzle, they shimmered, soft and steady, like candles in a quiet room. But the sky needed more than stars. The gods took two great sparks, larger and brighter than the rest, and shaped them into the sun and moon. The sun was warm and golden, its light spreading gently across Midgard, touching the earth with a soft glow. The moon was cooler, silver and calm, its light a whisper compared to the sun's song. The gods set them in motion, giving them paths to follow across the sky. They didn't rush, they didn't race, they moved slowly, in a rhythm as old as the cosmos itself, rising and falling, day and night, a cycle that would cradle the world. To guide these celestial bodies, the gods called upon two beings, Sol and Mani, to drive the sun and moon across the sky. Sol, the sun, rode in a chariot, her hair like flames, her presence warm but not scorching. Mani the moon followed in his own chariot, his face pale and serene, his eyes reflecting the stars. They traveled in silence, their chariots gliding through the heavens, their paths steady and unending. The Norse people imagined wolves chasing Sol and Mani, a hint of danger in the cosmos, but for now, let's not dwell on that. Let's focus on the calm, the quiet motion of the sun and moon lighting the world below. The gods weren't done yet. Midgard needed life, something to fill its fields and forests. As Odin, Vili, and Vi walked along the shores of the sea, they found two pieces of driftwood, washed up by the waves. One was ash, strong and straight, its grain smooth under their hands. The other was elm, supple and sturdy, its surface soft to the touch. The gods looked at these pieces of wood and saw potential, saw life waiting to be born. They decided to create the first humans, the beings who would call Midgard home. They named the ash figure Ask, the first man, and the elm figure Embla, the first woman. The gods worked gently, their hands shaping the wood, breathing life into it. Odin gave them spirit, the breath of life, so their chests rose and fell, their eyes opened to the world. Vili gave them understanding, the spark of thought, so they could see and know the world around them. Vi gave them form and senses, so they could hear the waves, feel the earth, and smell the salt in the air. Picture them, Ask and Embla, standing on the shore, their feet sinking into the sand, the sea whispering behind them, the sky glowing softly above. Ask and Embla were simple beings, not gods or giants, but human, tied to the earth. They looked out at Midgard, at the forests and rivers, the mountains and seas, and they felt its quiet beauty. The gods didn't command them or rule them. They let them be, let them live in this new world. The Norse myths don't say what Ask and Embla did next, and that's okay. Their story is one of beginnings, of life taking root in a world still young. Let's pause here, fellow traveler, and imagine this world. Midgard stretches out, its fields green, its rivers flowing. The seas encircle it, their waves a soft, steady hush. The sky arches above, stars twinkling, the sun and moon gliding in their endless dance. Ask and Embla stand on the shore, their breath mingling with the breeze, their eyes taking in the beauty of it all. It's a peaceful scene, isn't it? A world born from chaos, now calm and alive, ready for what comes next. Let your breathing slow, Annie. Let your thoughts drift, as we rest in this moment of creation. Before we move on, let's think for a moment about what this part of the myth tells us. The Norse people saw humanity as part of the world, not above it or separate from it. Ask and Embla weren't created to rule Midgard. They were created to live in it, to be part of its cycles. This idea shows up in other myths too. In some Native American stories, humans are shaped from clay or corn, tied to the earth. In Greek myths, humans are crafted by Prometheus, given life but also responsibility. For the Norse, Ask and Embla were a reminder that humans are small in the grand cosmos, yet connected to it, born from the same stuff as the seas and mountains. But let's not linger too long on these thoughts. Let's return to Midgard, to the gods watching over their new world. The earth is alive now, the seas are flowing, the sky is lit with stars. Odin, Vili, and Vi have done their work, but the cosmos is still growing, still finding its order. There are cycles to set, worlds to connect, and a great tree to hold it all together. For now, though, let's rest here, in the quiet of Midgard, with the sound of waves and the faint glow of the sun. Picture it, the shore where Ask and Embla stand, the sand cool under their feet, the air soft with the scent of salt and earth. The world is young, the cosmos is calm, and everything is unfolding as it should, slowly, ever so slowly. Let the story carry you, like a gentle breeze, pulling you towards rest, towards sleep, toward the next chapter of this ancient tale, the ordering of the cosmos. Hey there, welcome back to the heart of the Norse cosmos, where the world is taking shape, piece by piece, in the quiet of a time before time. We are standing in Midgard now, the middle realm, where the earth is dark and rich, born from Ymir's flesh. The seas encircle it, their waves lapping softly, a steady hush that could lull you to sleep. Above, the sky arches, made from Ymir's skull, held up by 4 dwarves, its stars twinkling like sparks from Muspelheim. The sun and moon, guided by Sol and Mani, glide across the heavens, their light casting a gentle glow over the land. Ask and Embla, the first humans, stand on the shore, their breath mingling with the breeze. But the cosmos isn't finished, Annie. It's alive, yes, but it needs order, a rhythm to hold it together. Odin, Vili, and Vi, the young gods, are ready to set that rhythm, to weave the cycles that will keep the world turning. Let's settle in. Let your thoughts soften, and let's see how the cosmos finds its balance. Slowly, ever so slowly. The gods stood in Midgard, their eyes scanning the earth, the sea, the sky. They saw the beauty of their work, but they also saw its chaos. The stars twinkled, but their paths were uneven. The sun and moon moved, but their journeys needed purpose. The seas flowed, but their tides needed a pattern. The cosmos was like a song, with notes but no melody, waiting for the gods to give it structure. So Odin, Vili and Ve began the work, their movements calm and deliberate, like weavers threading a loom, creating a tapestry of time and space. First they turned to the sun and moon, those great sparks of Muspelheim, now riding in their chariots. Sul, the sun, glowed warm and golden, her chariot gliding across the sky, her light touching the fields and forests of Midgard. Mani, the moon, followed in his silver chariot, his light cooler, softer, like a whisper in the night. The gods set their paths, giving them a rhythm to follow. The sun would rise in the east, climb slowly across the sky, and sink in the west, day after day, in a cycle as steady as your breath. The moon would follow, waxing and waning, its phases shifting gently, like waves on a quiet shore. Picture that, the sun rising, its golden light spreading over Midgard, warming the earth, glinting off the seas. Then the moon, silver and calm, taking its place, casting shadows that danced softly across the land. The gods made sure these cycles were smooth, unending, a rhythm that would cradle the world. The Norse people who watched the sun and moon from their cold northern lands saw these cycles as sacred. They marked their days and seasons by them, planting crops when the sun grew strong, resting when the moon held sway. It was a way of living with the cosmos, of feeling its heartbeat. The gods didn't stop with the sun and moon. They looked to the stars, those countless sparks scattered across the sky. Each one needed a place, a path to follow. Odin, with his wise eyes, pointed to the heavens, and the gods began to arrange the stars, setting them in patterns that would guide the night. These weren't just random lights, they were markers, signs for those who would come later, for sailors and wanderers who would look up and find their way. The stars twinkled faintly, their light steady, like candles in a vast quiet room. The gods worked slowly, placing each star with care, their hands moving through the heavens, their breath mingling with the mist that still lingered from Ginnungagap. The earth needed its own rhythms too. The gods turned to the seasons, setting them in motion to follow the sun's journey. Spring would come, with its soft greens and gentle rains, waking the fields of Midgard. Summer would follow, warm and bright, the sun high and strong, coaxing crops from the earth. Autumn would bring cooler winds, leaves falling softly, the land preparing for rest. And winter would blanket Midgard in snow and ice, a reminder of Niflheim's cold, a time for the world to sleep. The gods wove these seasons together, their cycle as steady as the tides, as constant as the sun and moon. Imagine that, the seasons turning one after another in a quiet, endless dance. Spring's rains pattering softly, summer's warmth spreading through the fields, autumn's leaves rustling, winter's snow falling gently. It's a rhythm you can feel, a pattern that holds the world together. The Norse people lived by these cycles, their lives tied to the land, to the turning of the seasons. They saw the cosmos as a living thing, not just a place, but a story that kept unfolding, day by day, year by year. The gods also set the days and nights, giving each its time. Day would belong to the sun, its light bright and clear, filling Midgard with life. Night would belong to the moon and stars, a time for rest, for dreams, for the world to breathe. The gods made sure the balance was right, that day and night flowed together, neither too long nor too short. Picture it, the sun sinking, the sky turning soft shades of pink and gold. Then the moon rising, its silver light washing over the land. The transition is gentle, seamless, like a lullaby carrying you from one moment to the next. To keep all these cycles in harmony, the gods placed guardians, beings to watch over the cosmos. Sol and Mani, as we said, drove the sun and moon, their chariots gliding through the sky. But there were others too, smaller spirits and beings who tended to the stars, the seasons, the tides. The Norse myths don't name them all, and that's okay. They're there, in the background, keeping the world's rhythm steady. Their presence a quiet hum in the cosmos. The gods trusted them, just as they trusted the dwarves to hold up the sky, just as they trusted the earth to cradle Ask and Embla. Let's pause here and imagine this ordered world. The sun rises and sets, the moon waxes and wanes. The seasons turn, the stars shine. Midgard lies at the center, its fields green, its seas calm, its mountains standing tall. The air is soft, filled with the scent of earth and salt, and the cosmos feels alive, breathing in time with you. It's a peaceful scene, isn't it? A world finding its rhythm, its balance, its quiet beauty. Let your breathing slow, let your thoughts drift, as we rest in this moment of cosmic order. Before we move on, let's take a moment to think about what this part of the myth means. The Norse people saw time as a cycle, not a straight line. The sun and moon, the seasons, the days and nights, they all return again and again in a pattern that never ends. This idea shows up in other myths too. In Egyptian stories, the sun god Ra travels through the sky each day, battling chaos to bring order. In Celtic myths, the seasons are tied to gods and spirits who keep the world turning. For the Norse, this ordering of the cosmos was a way of making sense of a world that could be harsh and unpredictable. It was a reminder that even in chaos, there's a rhythm, a pattern, a balance that holds everything together. But let's not linger too long on these thoughts. Let's return to Midgard, to the gods watching over their ordered world. The sun and moon are moving, the seasons are turning, the stars are shining. The cosmos is alive, its rhythms set. But there's more to come. There are worlds beyond Midgard, realms connected by a great tree, a structure that holds the cosmos together. For now, though, let's rest here, in the quiet of Midgard, with the sound of waves and the soft glow of the moon. Picture it, the world breathing, its cycles turning, the sun rising, the stars twinkling. The air is cool, the earth is soft, and everything is unfolding as it should, slowly. Ever so slowly. Let the story carry you, like a gentle current, pulling you toward rest, toward sleep, toward the next chapter of this ancient tale. The 9 worlds and their connections. Hello and welcome back to the quiet breathing heart of the Norse cosmos. We are in Midgard, the middle realm, where the earth lies soft and dark, its fields kissed by the sun's golden light. The seas whisper around it, their waves a steady hush. And above, the bone-white sky glows with stars, the sun and moon gliding in their endless dance. The seasons turn, spring to summer, autumn to winter, in a rhythm as old as the world itself. The gods, Odin, Vili, and Vi, have shaped this place, given it order, made it alive. But Midgard is just one piece of a much larger tapestry. The Norse cosmos is vast, holding 9 worlds, each different, each connected, bound together by a great tree called Yggdrasil. Let's settle in, let your thoughts soften, and let's explore these worlds slowly, ever so slowly, as the cosmos unfolds around us. The Norse people didn't see the universe as a single place. They saw it as a collection of realms, each with its own character, its own life. These 9 worlds were scattered across the cosmos, some high, some low, some warm, some cold, all held together by Yggdrasil, the world tree, whose roots and branches stretched through the void. Picture it, a tree so vast it defies imagining, its trunk wide as a mountain, its branches reaching into the heavens, its roots sinking deep into unseen depths. Yggdrasil's leaves rustle softly, a sound like a distant breeze, and its bark glows faintly, pulsing with the life of the cosmos. This tree is the backbone of the Norse world, the thread that ties everything together. Let's start with Asgard, the highest of the 9 worlds, the home of the gods. Asgard sits above Midgard, perched in the branches of Yggdrasil, bathed in golden light. It's a place of halls and spires, where Odin sits in his high seat, watching over the cosmos. The air in Asgard is clear, filled with the scent of polished wood and warm stone. The gods walk its paths, their voices soft, their presence calm but powerful. Picture Valhalla, one of Asgard's great halls, its roof thatched with golden shields, its tables heavy with feasts. The warriors there, chosen by Odin, rest quietly for now, their laughter a faint echo in the distance. Asgard is a place of order, a realm of divine purpose, high above the world, yet tied to it by Yggdrasil's branch. Below Asgard, nestled closer to the tree's trunk, is Vanaheim, the home of the Vanir gods. Vanaheim is softer, greener, filled with rolling hills and flowing rivers. The air smells of wildflowers and damp earth, and the light is warm, like a summer afternoon. The Vanir, gods of fertility and prosperity, move through the fields, their steps slow and deliberate. Unlike Asgard's shining halls, Vanaheim feels alive with growth, with the quiet hum of life. The Norse myths tell us little about Vanaheim, but its presence is steady, grounding, a reminder that even the gods are tied to the earth's rhythms. Then there's Alfheim, the realm of the light elves, glowing with a soft, silvery light. Alfheim is high in Yggdrasil's branches, near Asgard, its air shimmering like morning dew. The light elves are gentle beings, their voices like whispers, their forms barely visible in the glow. Picture fields of soft grass, sparkling under an endless dawn, with streams that ripple softly, their sound a faint lullaby. Alfheim is a place of beauty, of quiet magic, its light weaving through Yggdrasil's leaves, connecting it to the cosmos. Midgard, of course, we know. It's the middle realm, where Ask and Embla stand, where the seas lap at the shores, where the seasons turn. Midgard sits at the heart of Yggdrasil, its fields and forests alive with the gods' work. The tree's roots touch Midgard, its branches shade it, making it the center of the cosmos, the place where humans live, tied to all other worlds. The air here is familiar, filled with the scent of salt and pine, the sound of waves and wind. Midgard is home, but it's also part of something much larger, a single note in the cosmos song. Below Midgard lies Svartalfheim, the realm of the dwarves, deep in Yggdrasil's roots. Svartalfheim is dark, but not frightening, just quiet, steady, like a cave lit by the glow of forges. The dwarves, skilled craftsmen, work here, their hammers tapping softly, shaping treasures from stone and metal. The air smells of smoke and earth, and the sound of their work is a rhythmic pulse, like the heartbeat of the world. The dwarves hold up the sky, as we said, their strength anchoring the cosmos, their realm a hidden but vital part of the whole. Then there's Jotunheim, the realm of the giants, wild and rugged, far from Midgard's calm. Jotunheim is a place of towering cliffs and howling winds, its landscapes vast and untamed. The giants, kin to Ymir, roam here, their steps shaking the earth, their voices low and rumbling. The air is cold, sharp with the scent of frost and stone. But there's a strange beauty to it, a raw power that echoes the chaos of Ginnungagap. Jotunheim is connected to Yggdrasil's roots, its wildness balanced by the tree's steady presence. Deeper still is Niflheim, the realm of ice and mist we met at the beginning. Niflheim is cold, its air heavy with frost, its rivers flowing with venom and chill. The great spring Vergelmir bubbles here, its waters dripping slowly, a sound that echoes through the darkness. Niflheim is a place of stillness, of quiet, its icy landscape shimmering faintly under Yggdrasil's roots. It's a reminder of the cosmos' beginnings, of the cold that met fire to create the world. Muspelheim, the fire realm, lies opposite Niflheim, its flames crackling in the distance. Muspelheim is heat and light, its air thick with the scent of ash and molten stone. Suatar, the fire giant, stands guard, his sword glowing brighter than the sun. Yggdrasil's branches touch Muspelheim lightly, holding its fire in balance, keeping its heat from consuming the cosmos. Picture it, flames flickering, sparks drifting. Yet the tree remains steady and calm, tying even this wild realm to the whole. And finally, there's Hel, the realm of the dead, deep in Yggdrasil's roots, ruled by the goddess Hel. Hel is quiet, not a place of fear, but of rest, where those who didn't die in battle find peace. The air is cool, the light dim, like twilight that never ends. The sound of a slow river, Niflheim's waters flowing through, fills the silence, a gentle murmur. Hel is part of the cosmos, connected by Yggdrasil, a place where even death has its place in the cycle. Yggdrasil itself is the heart of all this. Its roots sink into Niflheim, Jotunheim, and Midgard, drawing life from wells and springs. Its branches stretch to Asgard, Alfheim, and Vanaheim, shading them with its leaves. Its trunk holds Svartalfheim, Muspelheim, and Hel, binding them together. Creatures live in Yggdrasil. A great eagle perches in its branches, a serpent named Nidhogg gnaws at its roots, and a squirrel, Ratatosk, scurries between them, carrying messages. The tree is alive, its bark pulsing faintly, its leaves rustling, a living bridge between the worlds. Let's pause here and imagine Yggdrasil. Picture its vast trunk, glowing softly, its branches reaching into the stars, its roots sinking into unseen depths. The air is calm, filled with the faint scent of wood and earth, the sound of leaves whispering. The 9 worlds rest in its embrace, each different, each connected, all part of the same cosmic song. Let your breathing slow, let your thoughts drift as we rest in this moment of unity. Before we move on, let's think about what Yggdrasil means. The Norse saw the world as interconnected, every part tied to the others. Trees are sacred in many cultures. Think of the oak in Celtic myths, or the Bodhi tree in Buddhism. Yggdrasil is the Norse version, a symbol of life, balance, and connection. It's a reminder that nothing stands alone, that even the gods and giants, the living and the dead, are part of one great whole. But let's return to the tree, to its roots and branches, to the 9 worlds it holds. The cosmos is complete now, its worlds connected, its rhythms set. For now, let's rest here, under Yggdrasil's shade, with the rustle of its leaves and the quiet hum of the cosmos. Picture it, the tree stretching forever, its worlds alive, its balance perfect. Let the story carry you like a leaf on a gentle breeze, toward rest, toward sleep, toward the end of our tale. Conclusion and wind down. Hello, fellow traveler. Here we are, resting in the quiet heart of the Norse cosmos, under the vast, sheltering branches of Yggdrasil, the world tree. Its leaves rustle softly above us, a sound like a whispered lullaby, and its roots stretch deep below, holding the 9 worlds together. We've journeyed through the creation of this cosmos, from the yawning void of Ginnungagap, where fire and ice met in a gentle dance, to the birth of Ymir, the frost giant, and audhumla, the cosmic cow. We've seen the gods, Odin, Vili, and Ve, shape the world from Ymir's body, crafting seas from his blood, mountains from his bones, and a sky from his skull. We've walked through Midgard, where Ask and Embla took their first breaths, and watched the sun and moon find their rhythms, guided by Sol and Mani. And we've explored the 9 worlds, from Asgard's golden halls to Hel's quiet depths, all bound by Yggdrasil's steady embrace. Now, it's time to rest, to let this story carry you like a leaf on a gentle breeze, toward peace, toward sleep. Let's settle in, let your thoughts soften, and let's bring this tale to a close, slowly, ever so slowly. This Norse creation myth is a story of beginnings, but it's also a story of cycles, of things that return and renew. The cosmos didn't just start, it grew, piece by piece, from chaos to order, from emptiness to life. Picture it one last time. Ginnungagap, vast and silent, its mist swirling as fire and ice meet, the drip of melting frost, the faint crackle of sparks, and then Ymir, lying vast in the void, his breath heavy, his body alive with possibility. Audhumla, her tongue scraping softly, freeing Buri from the ice, setting the stage for the gods, and those gods shaping the world with care. Seas flowing, mountains rising, stars twinkling in a sky held up by dwarfs. Midgard, green and alive, cradling Ask and Embla, while the sun and moon glide above, marking days and nights, seasons and years. And Yggdrasil, always Yggdrasil, its branches stretching, its roots anchoring, holding the 9 worlds in balance. It's a beautiful story, isn't it? Not loud or grand, but quiet, deliberate, like the world itself breathing. The Norse people who told this tale around their fires in the long northern nights saw the cosmos as alive, as something that moves and grows just like we do. They saw themselves in it, not as masters, but as part of its rhythm, part of its cycles. The seas, the stars, the seasons, the worlds, all connected, all turning together, like a song that never ends. And at the center of it all is Yggdrasil, its leaves whispering, its trunk steady, a reminder that everything is tied together, that nothing stands alone. Let's imagine ourselves there now, resting under Yggdrasil's branches. Picture it. You're lying on soft moss, the ground cool and comforting beneath you. Above, the tree's leaves rustle gently, their sound blending with the faint murmur of a distant stream. The air is soft, carrying the scent of earth and pine, and the stars twinkle high above, their light filtering through Yggdrasil's branches. The 9 worlds are out there. Asgard's golden glow, Midgard's green fields, Hell's quiet twilight. But they're far away now, their presence a soft hum in the background. You are here, under the tree, safe in its shade, the cosmos breathing around you. Feel your breath slow, matching the rhythm of the world, in and out, like the tides of Ymir's seas, like the rise and fall of Sol and Mani. The cosmos is calm, its cycle steady, its story complete for now. The Norse myths don't end here, of course. They speak of gods and giants, of battles and fates, of a future Ragnarok where the world will change again. But that's a story for another time, not for tonight. Tonight is for rest, for peace, for letting the cosmos cradle you in its quiet embrace. Before we drift off completely, let's reflect one last time on what this myth means. The Norse creation story is about transformation, about how chaos becomes order, how sacrifice becomes life. It's a theme that echoes in so many cultures. In Greek myths, chaos gives birth to Gaia and the world. In Aboriginal stories, the dreamtime shapes the land through the acts of ancestral beings. For the Norse, it's Ymir's body, audhumla's care, and Yggdrasil's roots that tie it all together. It's a way of saying that the world is never still. It's always becoming, always connected, always part of something greater. The Norse people, living in their harsh lands, knew this. They saw the cosmos in the ice and fire, in the trees and seas, in the cycles that carried them through life. But let's not linger too long on these thoughts. Let's return to Yggdrasil, to the moss beneath you, to the soft rustle of its leaves. The air is cool, the stars are gentle, and the cosmos is at peace. The 9 worlds are out there, turning in their quiet dance. But here, under the tree, it's just you and the story, fading softly into the night. The seas are whispering, the winds are sighing, and Yggdrasil's branches are swaying, ever so slightly, like a lullaby sung by the world itself. Close your eyes if you haven't already, or let them rest on the stars above. Feel the weight of your body sink into the moss. Feel the calm of the cosmos wrap around you. The story of the Norse creation is complete, but its rhythm lingers, like the heartbeat of the world. The void of Ginnungagap, the fire and ice, The gods and giants, the tree and its worlds, they're all part of you now. Part of this moment, part of this quiet. Let your thoughts drift, let them float, like leaves on Yggdrasil's breeze, carrying you deeper, softer, toward rest. The cosmos is vast, but it's gentle tonight. The stars are shining, the seas are flowing, the tree is standing tall. You're here, safe in its shade, part of its story, part of its peace. Let the sound of the leaves, the murmur of the stream, the hum of the cosmos carry you. There's no rush, no hurry, just the slow, steady rhythm of the world, guiding you towards sleep. Rest now under Yggdrasil's branches, with the Norse cosmos all around you, whispering its ancient tale. Good night, and let the stars watch over you as you drift away.